Hi, I'm Chef Anna, and this is Kathy and Bennett, and we're here at Jump, and we're here to teach you all about easy Trader Joe meals. So, you know when you go to Trader Joe's and you walk around the aisles, and especially in the frozen food aisle, you buy all this stuff and it looks amazing on the pictures, and then you get it home and you follow the directions, and it's just, it's okay, it's just frozen food. So we're going to show you how to make special garnishes and use some of the things in your refrigerator or some of the things that we told you ahead of time that you could buy to make these frozen foods really be amazing, and they're going to look like you were on the Food Network. So we're going to start with salsa, and most everyone has a smoothie maker at home. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Not a lot of people have a food processor, so I'm going to show you how to make salsa in a smoothie maker. And the instructions you got in your packet were for a full recipe, and a smoothie maker you can only fit half. So to make salsa, you need a can of fire roasted tomatoes. You can use regular tomatoes if you want. We have garlic, and then we have jalapenos and tomatillos. So these come fresh in the produce aisle, and I went ahead and roasted these. You can do these in the oven, and you just want to stick them under the broiler until they're all super black. If you have a gas stove, you can just stick it right on the flame until they're all the way black. And you want it to be just really dark because that gives you all that really great flavor. Then we're going to use cilantro and onion. Now if you're doing this in your food processor at home, you can just throw all this in there at once and zhuzh it up.
Let's get zhuzh it.
But here, because this is not quite as strong, we're going to chop it up a little bit ahead of time.
So Chef Anna, what if I don't like hot and spicy? Is there a way to make medium or mild salsa?
You never really know until you taste your jalapenos,
Oh.
but that's a really good question, because if you get it in here and it's too spicy, the way that you can calm the spice down is by adding a little salt,
Oh, good.
and that makes it not as spicy. So these are really soft, and when you put them in under the broiler, they're going to really soften up like that, so they're going to go really easy. So garlic, we're just going to smash it with your knife. That's going to make it easier in this smoothie maker.
And do I need gloves at home to touch the jalapenos?
That's another really good point.
I hurt myself.
Yeah, because if you touch your eyes after you touch the jalapenos, then you will burn yourself. You
Okay.
can even burn your mouth.
Okay.
And so then we've got cilantro and onion. So I like a lot of cilantro, and since we're doing a half recipe, I'm going to put a big handful like
And you
that.
use the stems too, I noticed?
You use the stems.
Okay.
Yeah, the stems have a lot of flavor,
Okay.
and you just want to do a little rough chop so it'll chop up easier in here. And the same with the onion, just a basic rough chop.
Mostly green, all of it.
All of it. We're going to put all of it in there. And for this, because with the smoothie maker, it makes it really pureed, I'm only going to put about half of the can in, and then I'll add the other half later. Because this is really nice and chunky, and some people like really chunky salsa, some people like it really smooth. If you want it really smooth, just put it all in there. And it's not going anywhere, but you have all of this juice at the bottom from your tomatillos. Go ahead and put that in there, and you can just mix it around with your knife. That'll help it get caught with the blender part of it.
Works like mine.
There we go. Pop the top. And just to kind of mix it up a little bit, I'm going to pulse it just a couple times. There we have salsa, and I'm just going to make it pretty. I know it seems weird, but if you take this, put it right on the top, it will float down to the bottom as people eat it, but when you put it out like on a buffet table, it just looks a little prettier.
Oh, that is pretty. Very nice.
There we go.
Love that. Do we get to taste it?
Yep, now you get
Oh.
to taste it.
All right, then.
And the one thing is, if it is too spicy, like I said, you add salt. You can't make it spicier though. And since we're working with mostly natural whole foods, it's as spicy as it's gonna be.
That
And
does have a kick. Do you
that's
put
it.
the lime on it?
You
Or
can.
is this just for
yeah,
looks?
it's for looks, but then you can definitely put it on there. And we're gonna talk more about acid like that as we go on with some of these things. It's really important to use acid in your cooking. All right, next we're gonna make tacos. We're making chicken tacos, and what I have here is just the plain chicken, and it just actually says that on the package from Trader Joe's, plain chicken.
In refrigerated section?
In the deli section. Plain chicken, shredded lettuce. You can buy shredded lettuce there, or you just get a head lettuce or a romaine and just chop the end off of it. This is feta cheese. It's actually a lot easier to find than cotija, and it's a lot easier to work with. And it tastes basically the same. It's just like a really salty, dry cheese. I have some cilantro that I chopped and corn tortillas. So you can, if you want to buy the stuff at Trader Joe's, you can just take this, put it in plastic, and stick it in the microwave, and then they're good to go. But if you want to make them a little bit better, you have just a little bit of oil in a pan. Take your corn tortilla. You want to cook one side first. Turn it over. It's going to get these bubbles in it sometimes. Go ahead and fold it over like that. And you want to flatten it as you go. And fold it over on the other side. You want to stick your tongs right in the middle so it opens up like a regular taco shell.
That's a lot better than the microwave.
And a lot better than just the pre-made corn
Oh,
tortillas,
yeah. Oh,
like the
yeah.
Taco Bell kind. So I got started already with some tacos. Oh, we're gonna cook the chicken too. You can put the chicken in there cold, but I wouldn't
It's already pre-cooked
do
though,
that.
right?
Yep,
You're
this
just
is
heating
pre-cooked
it?
chicken. We're just gonna heat it up, and once again, you could just put it in the microwave if you wanted to. You don't have to do really anything fancy.
Is there oil in that pan too?
Just a little bit of olive oil
Olive oil.
on the bottom. So I started out, have a couple of them already kind of put together. So you're gonna take your chicken, put that right in the bottom. You can add seasoning to it if you want, but we have a whole bunch of other things that are gonna go on this, and so you're not gonna really notice. If you wanna add taco seasoning, you can. A little lime juice, you could do that. So we're gonna do the chicken, a little bit of the lettuce, some of the cheese, and this chopped cilantro. That's gonna make it really pretty. And then what I did, it's really simple. You take mayo and canned chipotles. And you take the canned chipotles, put them in your smoothie maker or in your food processor, and just zhuzh it up.
Zhuzh it up.
Zhuzh it up.
Just zhuzh
And you want to make it spicy, you can use a whole can of chipotles. If you want to make it mild, you just use a little bit of the chipotle. And then we're going to make it look like you went to a restaurant, Mexican restaurant.
That's a good trick.
So you just go like that right over the top. And then even though you wouldn't think it goes, we have some sesame seeds here.
Huh.
We're gonna put those right on the top. That adds a little bit of crunch and kind of just this really savory flavor to your tacos.
That looks fancy.
And there we have it.
Voila.
Okay, next we are making wonton soup, and a lot of this is just all pre-purchased from Trader Joe's. You can use whatever you have in your fridge too that you want to add to your soup. If you had chicken the night before, if you had pork chops the night before, just slice it up and put it in there. But we're using these little mini wontons, and we also have miso ginger broth that's just sold in the dry goods aisle like this. It's
With
not
the soups?
refrigerated.
With the other
Yep,
soups?
with the soup. It's not refrigerated. You have to refrigerate it once it's opened. We're using tofu from the deli area, and this is really firm tofu. And this one was marinated in sriracha, so it's got a little bit of spice. And it comes in a log about that big, and I just cubed it up. You can make it into strips. You can do whatever you want with it. I also have kale and mushrooms because I really like both of those. So I have sesame oil, and I'm going to put that in my pan. pan is very hot. A little sesame oil in the bottom. We're gonna add our mushrooms in.
And they're already
And
sliced, thinly
We're
sliced.
gonna turn on the fan,
We're burning down.
maybe. Fan comes on. So yeah, thinly sliced mushrooms just from Trader Joe's. They come in a bag. And kale. You wanna just kinda
Wow.
get that going in there just to wilt it up a little bit. I'm gonna take it off the flame.
Wow. Woo.
That's really hot. So there we go. Now you can kind of see it. So we're just browning up those mushrooms a little bit. You could put them in there, just regular raw mushrooms. They taste a little bit better if you get them a little brown on the side. So browning that up. Now, because this is so hot, it's going to splatter a little bit. So if you're at home, be really careful.
Is sesame oil hotter? Does it burn hotter than other oils?
It has a higher smoke point. Yes, it does.
Smokes easily.
Gonna add our broth in there. Bring it to a boil, which is not going to take long. And these, you just basically need to heat them up. They're already pre-cooked. Just put them in there. Kind of like when you go to the restaurant, you order miso soup. This is what you end up getting in there. These little guys are frozen, and they only take about 2 or 3 minutes in the boiling broth. So we're gonna put those in.
They're cute little size.
Yeah. And these are chicken. So I also picked up, which is what I love when I go down the aisles, I look at this and I go, oh my gosh, that looks amazing. And I really want that. So I took it, I bought it, brought it home, put it in the oven. This is what it looks like. So what we're gonna do with it is we're gonna use it as a garnish instead. So we're gonna take this scallion pancakes. We're gonna cut it into strips. And just a little knife tip, when you're holding your knife, you wanna hold it like that. It gives you more control when you're chopping. So we're gonna cut this into thin strips.
Looks like a chocolate chip cookie too.
And it's kind of nice because after you take it out of the oven and it is crispy like this, when you put it in the soup, it's going to hold some of that crunch.
So you've already cooked it. You didn't just take it out
Yep.
of the
Oh,
package.
no.
Oh, okay.
These just
I
go in the
missed- okay,
oven
Gotcha.
and just, I think it's like about 10 minutes in the oven.
Okay.
And they're pre-cooked, they're just, you just want to heat them through.
Get them crispy.
Yep, so we're going to cook that.
They look good.
Yeah. And while that is working, we're going to go ahead and turn on our other burner. And we're going to start some chicken for the next recipe. So the next recipe is also an Asian recipe. I'm going to use a little sesame oil again. And put some chicken in there. And this is going to be for our chicken lettuce wraps.
Ooh, I love those.
So when I went shopping for all of this, all of these things, it took me about 25 minutes at Trader Joe's, and they didn't have everything that I wanted, and that's okay, because you can just mix and match whatever you have in your fridge. If they don't have this kind of wonton, use whatever kind of wonton. If you don't want to use wontons, you can use top ramen, and just replace this broth with the packet. It's much healthier for you, and then you can add all of your leftovers from the fridge from whatever dinner you had the night before. So chicken's heating up. And it looks like our wontons are just about done. Can you see that?
Basically, they're already cooked too. You just heat
They're
them,
cooked.
basically.
Yeah, they're just frozen.
Okay.
So you just have to heat them through. And it's about 2 or 3 minutes.
That's my kind of soup. That's pretty simple and quick as
Yeah,
right.
and it's really, really pretty. So we're
And
gonna.
healthy. It looks healthy.
Yeah. get a little bit of everything in there.
Did you get these spoons there too?
No.
These are cute. I need to get a set of these for my house.
All right, we have a little bit of everything. So now we're gonna garnish it up. We're gonna take these, put them on the side like that.
And they're hot already?
Uh-huh. Put those right on the side.
Wow.
And like I mentioned before, acid is super important. So we're gonna put some limes with this. Acid, if your food is a little bland, it just really makes your food pop. So limes, lemons, vinegars, those are all sorts of things that are gonna make your food just really pop in your mouth. Whereas if you didn't have that vinegar, it's just sort of flat and bland. So we're gonna add a little lime. We've got our cilantro, that on there. Got some sesame seeds.
And those are black and white sesame seeds?
Black and white
You
sesame
buy them
seeds.
like that?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And I just really like to do this. I think it makes it look good.
What is that?
This is sriracha.
Hot sauce?
Yep. And that's my favorite little drizzle right there. And
Wow,
there we
voila.
have it.
You want to hold one underneath?
Now we're working on our lettuce wraps. So most of these things we did have you purchase from Trader Joe's. It was on your list and it's on your recipe card with pictures. We started our chicken already with a little sesame oil. So that is cooking in the pan. We have shredded carrots that you can buy just in the produce department.
Already pre-shredded?
Yep.
Oh, that makes it easy.
And we have cucumbers. These I went ahead and sliced myself. They don't sell these sliced. They start to release a lot of water once you slice them. And also if you ever salt them, then they're gonna be really watery.
Oh.
And then this is just the tofu that we had from the meal before.
With the sriracha?
Mhm.
Ooh, hot, spicy.
We have some kimchi, and this is already just pre-made kimchi in the deli section.
In a jar? I forget.
It's in a little jar. They have a couple different kinds there. And we have scallions, our sesame seeds, cilantro again. And they didn't have any butter lettuce when I was there, which is typically what you would use when you're making lettuce wraps. So I went ahead and just grabbed romaine. So they're almost like we're gonna make a little lettuce wrap taco. Our seasoning on this is just gonna be peanut sauce, which they didn't have peanut sauce when I was there either, but we're just gonna run with it, and they have this spicy peanut vinaigrette. So we have our chicken going in a pan. And we just got it a little bit of brown and crispy with the sesame oil. We're gonna add some of this peanut vinaigrette.
So is that used for a salad as well?
Salad,
You put in
yeah.
the salad dressing?
Yeah, so you could have another meal then if you have
Yeah.
all this romaine. Just go ahead and use your romaine and use some of the chicken that you already bought, and you have an Asian chicken salad. So any of the stuff that you didn't eat, you can go ahead and make an entree salad maybe for your lunch the next day. So we're gonna let that kind of soak into the chicken there. And like I was saying, acid is super important for your food. And I don't know if, when you go to an Asian restaurant, some of you may have had the seaweed salad. This is kind of like that. We're gonna use a little rice vinegar on our cucumbers. And it just really brings out a lot of flavor in the cucumber. So you just pour that on there, kind of toss it around. The longer you let it sit, the more it'll kind of soak in, and the cucumbers themselves will start releasing some of their own juices.
Does regular vinegar work if you don't have rice vinegar, or not as well?
It's not as well. You wouldn't want to use like the white distilled vinegar, but you could use sherry vinegar, you could use red wine vinegar, white wine vinegar, champagne vinegar. Mostly I think of the distilled white vinegar as something you would clean with, not necessarily use.
Comes by the gallon.
Yeah. And then we're just going to toss our sesame seeds. Go ahead and just toss this around, and basically what you have here is a little bit of sesame oil. You have a cucumber salad,
Yum.
and it's delicious. So our chicken has kind of soaked up some of that vinaigrette, and we're going to serve this like family style. If you're at home or in your dorm room or wherever you are. Gonna go ahead and put that on the platter, family style.
Boy, that's quick.
And just like everything else, the garnish is what makes people go, ooh, that's really something special. You spent a lot of time doing that. We're just gonna put a little garnish there. A little bit of
Sesame seeds are a good trick.
seeds. And I'm not gonna burn you out too much with the sriracha this time. We'll just do a little design on the side, like that. And when you bring it to your table, everyone can just join in and basically make their own little lettuce taco.
Looks delicious. And scallions and kimchi.
A little bit of that, little scallions. And there you have it.
What do you do with the kimchi?
You can add that if you want. Not a lot of people like kimchi.
No,
So
thank
you can eat it just separately like a salad or a palate cleanser, or you can add it to your tacos. Another thing that's really good with this is if you have rice noodles at home, go ahead and boil up some rice noodles and do the same thing. Toss them with the rice vinegar and the sesame oil. And that's another little addition. You can use it as a salad on the side or go ahead and add it to your tacos.